How's it going, everyone? If you're new to the channel or returning, we want to say welcome. Today we have a good video for you. We're going to be talking about the pros and cons of living in San Antonio.
Let's check it out. Hey everyone, my name's Alyssa.
And my name's Frank.
And we are the River City property team here located in San Antonio, Texas. Now, before we get started, feel free to give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell because we'll be posting videos twice a week about living in our beautiful city.
Right, and we're licensed real estate agents in the state of Texas and a husband and wife team. So if you're thinking of relocating to San Antonio, we would love to assist you in any way we can and just be a resource of information for you. So feel free to contact us with the information on the screen with a phone call, text, or email, and we would love to help. So with all that said, let's dive into the pros and cons of living here. Coming in no particular order, we have the affordability here in San Antonio. Now, we're actually relatively low compared to others here in Texas, and we're usually compared to Austin, Dallas, and Houston, and we're actually quite exceptional compared to those cities. Now, in terms of national average, we're actually 8% lower than the national average. And to give you context, that actually includes such categories as housing, transportation, utilities, and groceries. And in regards to home prices, according to Sabre, which is our San Antonio Board of Realtors, it shows us to have a median home price of around $305,000. And going up, we have Austin that comes in around $560,000. You have Houston showing up at $322,000, and Dallas with a median home price at around $369,000.
So overall, living in San Antonio, you're definitely going to get more bang for your buck when it comes to homes compared to those other major cities here in Texas. Now moving on, and like Frank mentioned in no particular order, next up we're going to be talking about weather. Now I feel like the weather here in San Antonio can be considered either a pro or a con, just depends on the person and the type of climate that you like. Now I feel like our winters can be considered a pro and our summers can be considered a con, but we'll get into how hot San Antonio gets a little later in the video. Now, being that Texas is in the south, we tend to have pretty mild winters and they're actually really comfortable. I would say you just need like a heavy sweater or a jacket to get through. Now, 2 years ago, we did experience a really terrible freeze that affected so many people throughout the state, but that is very, very rare for us.
I mean, honestly, the last time we actually had a downfall of snow was around 1985, and even then, it roughly reached around 13 inches of snow.
Yeah, so San Antonio very, very rarely sees snow. We don't see any sort of blizzards or anything like that, so if you don't like the frigid cold, then San Antonio is for you. Next, we're going to talk about how San Antonio is very family-friendly and pet-friendly. There's a ton of activities here to do for families. We have the San Antonio Zoo, which was actually ranked the #1 zoo here in Texas. It's our daughter's favorite spot to go, so definitely one to check out. We also have attractions like SeaWorld, the Whitty Museum, the Doozeum, and just a ton of parks and nature spots around the city. San Antonio is also very pet-friendly, so if you want to enjoy some spots with your pets, we have Phil Hartberger Park, Tom Slick Park. Those actually have designated areas for your dogs. And Tom Slick Park actually has a nice little lake area where you can let your dogs run off leash and jump in the water. We've actually taken our pets there and it's really fun.
Right, and if you're looking to grab a bite with your pet, feel free to check out Hops and Hounds, which is actually located on the north side of San Antonio. Along with the Riverwalk, they also have very pet-friendly restaurants to eat and enjoy.
So whether you want to get out and explore with your family or your pets, there's plenty to do here.
And next on the list is going to be our strong job market. Now, San Antonio is currently ranked 6th overall amongst other major cities here in the United States in terms of growth in the tech jobs. Now, the more companies that move into San Antonio, the more job opportunities and the overall stronger our economy becomes. Now, the IT sector has actually boomed since the 2000s here in San Antonio. I mean, it's actually increased about 36%. And alongside the IT sector is cybersecurity. Now, cybersecurity is offered in a program at University of Texas at San Antonio, which is a local college, and they actually run a great program. I know even Microsoft is actually moving their headquarters, or a headquarters, should I say, here in San Antonio, which is actually being built in the far west side of San Antonio off of Petranco Road. I know a lot of new developments that are actually up and coming as far as neighborhoods is concerned.
Yeah, with all the growth out there and the fact that we have several major military bases here in San Antonio, all of those factors contribute to creating a strong economy for San Antonio. Now, along with more companies moving to San Antonio, that means more people moving here, which in turn means more traffic on the road.
Which leads into our first con, which is going to be traffic. Now, San Antonio is currently ranked 7th overall largest city in the United States, and our population is roughly about 1.48 million people. So the more people that arrive here in San Antonio, the more congested our roadways are, means the more traffic and rush hour. Let me tell you, that could be a little devastating sometimes, and you're in a hurry and you maybe woke up late. So in the mornings, I would definitely consider waking up a little extra earlier because rush hour in the morning comes in between 6 to 8 a.m. And on the back end, when business hours are over, is roughly 4 to 6 p.m. So I would definitely keep those time frames top of mind when you're trying to get somewhere on time.
Definitely. And besides the rush hour, we do have a lot of road construction because the city is growing so much. So they're doing a lot of work on the roads out there. And along with the road construction comes more 18-wheelers on the road. And those 18-wheelers tend to leave potholes on the roads that are definitely not good for our cars.
I know we purchased a home back 10 years ago in a new development, and they're still building in that area. So it's nonstop that they're filling the potholes that the 18-wheelers are causing. So just keep that in mind as well.
On the bright side, once the road construction is complete, we'll have nicer, larger roads to drive on. Now, circling back to weather, we're going to be talking about how hot San Antonio summers can get. Now, I'm not going to lie, guys, it gets pretty brutal here between about June to August. It is normal for us here to experience triple-digit temperatures, which is not fun at all. I mean, Frank and I were both born and raised here in San Antonio, and I can say that the Texas heat is just something that you cannot get used to. And another thing to note is that the humidity here is something that can make those hot days seem even worse. So just something to keep in mind, especially if you're not a fan of the warmer weather.
Now, the next con on the list is going to be our public transportation system. Now, it's very limited here in San Antonio, but what we have is going to be the Via Metropolitan Transit Authority. Now, they actually run up to a certain boundary here within the city. So if you're on the outskirts of San Antonio, I would say maybe you're on the outskirts of 1604. That public transportation may not be available to you. So that's something to consider when relocating to San Antonio.
Now, I would say that having a vehicle is definitely necessary for getting around. I mean, we do have other methods of transportation. We have Uber, Lyft, some taxis. I would just say that we don't have like as many taxis as you would see in somewhere like in New York. We do have them, but I would say that having a vehicle is necessary here.
Now, the next item that we're going to be discussing is going to be property taxes. Now, it's not a favorable item to talk about here in San Antonio, but compared to other states, we do have high property taxes. The taxes are something that we like to tell people, especially when they're considering moving to San Antonio, in terms of budgeting for home expenses. The rates will also vary for different parts of the city.
Yeah, like Frank said, they're not going to be the same throughout the whole city of San Antonio. Different areas are going to have different tax rates. And I would say that the areas that are experiencing a lot of growth with new schools, businesses, things like that, you can tend to see a little bit of a higher tax rate. And one other thing to note on the property taxes is that every year they're going to change. The Bexar County Appraisal District will do an assessment on your home, and more than likely they're going to go up each year. Now, you can protest those taxes, which is a good thing, which we can discuss later on a different video, or if you want more details on that, you can definitely reach out to us.
But you know what's not a con is working with us. So we want to remind you guys that we are licensed real estate agents in the state of Texas, and we would love to assist you with your real estate needs. So feel free to reach out to us with the information on the screen again with a phone call, text, or email, and we would love to help. So until the next video, guys, we hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys in the next video.